Ooh, it's good to be back.
Yes, I was thinking, that was a nice kitty cat video from we are huge fans of the Kiffness.
Yeah.
He's been traveling and performing, I think, all over the place. And so for that
looked like your little Mila.
Did you think? I thought so too.
I thought so. At first I thought, did you superimpose Mila into the video? Do a little digital magic there?
Wow. So no, that was done by the Kiffness. He does several versions of that video. I'm just trying to take a look
adorable.
Stream here. How am I doing on my stream? We got a 7
here. You look pretty good.
Mine's doing okay here, or
am I doing okay?
Mine looks weird, so I just
you are a little fuzzy from my end, just a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know how you look to the viewers right now. No, I look crystal clear from my end. Maybe I look fuzzy to you. I don't know.
It should be okay. Let's see here. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that my OBS settings are okay here.
All right.
General appear. Do you have an OBS thing going on?
An OBS thing? Not to my knowledge. What is an OBS thing? I plead ignorance there.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm supposed to be connected with OBS, and it's supposed to improve my video. But for some bizarre reason, your video is always better than mine. And I don't know what
I don't know. I know I did a big upgrade at your, at your advice. I started to say at your insistence, but it was your advice. I upgraded, and that took care of a lot of my problems from my end. But you did the same thing, didn't you? You have very good Wi-Fi, I believe.
Yeah, I did. Oh, did you upgrade your Wi-Fi? Is that what you did?
I did about a year ago. Because remember back in the day when we first started out, we were having all kinds of problems. Microphone problems, picture problems, lighting problems.
I can't decide who it is. One of them really drains me. It's either Facebook or it's X. And excuse me, I burnt pepper.
That darned metaverse.
Yes. Yeah. So I feel like if I get rid of Facebook, oh my gosh,
Ooh, that's a big step, getting rid of Facebook.
Well, I can't do them both live at the same time.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
And I think we might see an improvement.
It's worth a try. I'd be more inclined to get rid of X than I would Facebook, but then I guess it's a personal decision based on what you use more.
Well, it's just that, gosh, that pepper is killing me.
Yeah.
I was cleaning out my spice racket and making soup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see, now I see an improvement. Now, if I get rid of, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of X.
X.
Because I have to stream you also. So I think, yes, X marks the spot, right?
Okay. Well, let's see. Debbie here just said Whimsy is blurry, Chuck is clear, Whimsy is not synced with her voice. I don't know if that's still going on.
Okay.
You seem like you're synced to me. I don't know how you are. It looks to the viewers.
Oh, I could. Well, I don't think I could leave. I'm choking on pepper right now.
Oh my goodness! Do you have a cup of tea or a water bottle or anything?
It's good to be back.
It's good to have you back. We were chatting before the show. I just said, I've missed you so much. I've missed you tremendously, and I'm just glad you made it back safe and sound, and you've got all these wonderful new adventures to talk about, and just the video you sent from Dubai. I was so impressed with that. To me, it looks like the Emerald City from The Wizard of Oz. I want to go there now.
It's interesting. I feel that experiencing Dubai for me, let me just check my stream while we talk. Did that help at all? I think that helped. It's every time I connect with you. You look great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I can't wear my contact lenses today. That's why I have the glasses on. I may be taking them off, putting them back on. I can't decide which way I see best because I'm so used to looking through contacts. But thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And you look wonderful. I was going to say, when I watched your videos from Israel, I saw the blonde highlights from the sun in your hair, and you just look so youthful and peaceful and rested. I was vicariously with you through those videos. I think many of us were.
Thank you. Well, I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice if I could live that life every day? Because I didn't even
put it out to the universe. Maybe you can.
I didn't even have time to eat the breakfast because the plane left at 9:30 in the morning.
Oh, that's too bad. But, just vicariously living through you reminds me how much I miss travel. I haven't been on a big trip like that in over a decade. I want to get back to Europe.
It was the most harmless trip, too, because, I don't drink, right? I don't drink.
Yeah.
So, what did I do? I ended up, let me change this.
Yeah.
Might be better.
Okay.
Yeah, so I ended up not having any of the alcohol. So the mini bar wasn't used, but
we saved about $300 there.
But they had a free fruit bowl.
Yes.
Yes, because I had the executive suite of a 5-star hotel on the 27th floor.
This was in Dubai, right?
Dubai. Who lives like this? I don't.
Well, it's time that you do. No, when you posted that video, I thought, good for you. This is the life you deserve.
It was a Monday night, and it looked like the hotel was probably at less than 50%.
Oh, it was so elegant. I know many times when it's like that, they'll give you upgrades.
Right.
That happened to me in Honolulu.
Staying at a place like that with package to Dubai, $350, because I had to get out of Israel, and then from Dubai to London, and from London to the United States. But
yeah,
so $350, and then if I were to just stay there and not do anything, just sit at the airport and wait 12 hours or whatnot, it would have been like $280 or whatnot. So of course you're going to do the 5-star experience.
Yeah, no, you deserve that. It was your last big night of your trip. Why not have a spa day, be in the executive suite? And I bet that fruit bowl was incredible.
Yeah, the fruit bowl. So I ate a couple of grapes and I was like laughing about it. Like, here I am in this I feel like I'm Mick Jagger or something. I don't know.
All you needed was a slave feeding you
Yes,
grapes,
and
with a fan over you.
then the hotel had a shuttle,
Uh-huh.
and of course you have to tip people all the time. So you got
Hmm.
to have those 20, whatever the notes are in
I don't know.
Dira or whatever. You got to have 20 notes, which is the equivalent of $5 or whatever.
Yeah, but that can
Uh,
add up.
Yeah,
But
it can add up, but it's only the good news is I was only there for 12 hours, so how
yeah,
much did it add up, right? Um, the person that got me the taxi, the person that brought up my bag, right? So, um,
yeah.
yeah, so they had the shuttle take us to the Dubai Mall, the infamous
Yes, you showed that
Dubai
in your video.
Mall,
It
and
looked like an American mall. It looked like here the Sherman Oaks Galleria or something.
yeah, except for the fact that the food choices, I only had an hour and a half at the mall
Uh-huh.
because the last shuttle was coming to pick us up at like 8:45 p.m.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I only was able to check the bottom floor
But
and
you
yeah.
took in so much in so little time. It was
Yeah,
like the first time I ever went to Paris, I only had 24 hours, but I milked those 24 hours for everything I could get out of them. I just didn't go to bed that night. And
yes,
I,
yeah.
I managed to cram in the Louvre and Montmartre, and I couldn't believe how much stuff I did in a full 24 hours from getting off the train to the next morning getting back on the train.
Well,
We
there,
get energized when we
there
travel.
are things I didn't do, like I didn't try the bath. I took the shower that night because I knew in
Yeah.
the morning I might not have a chance to shower.
Hmm.
I got to the all you can eat buffet before it opened at 6:30 in the morning. It
Oh,
opened, and they made me a couple lattes, and I had some bread soaked in
oh.
latte, and that was my last thing. So look, it wasn't like wild and wicked, and they had different stations in the five-star restaurant for breakfast. Like you could have Japanese breakfast, you could have
Hmm.
Chinese breakfast, you could have a Turkish breakfast,
I
you
would have wanted one of each.
you could have the Italian, French, European kind of cake
Oh my gosh.
and croissants, and
How
if
did you
there were
decide? I would have so much
I
trouble.
had bread, cappuccino, and left.
Just a cappuccino and
Well, I
left.
had to be there.
I know. I
And I
know
could,
that
they
is.
wouldn't take my passport without me going directly to the airport,
Yeah.
so I had no
And you
choice.
didn't want to miss that flight, but
Yeah,
what a shame
so
you had to pass it up. But next time, do you see yourself going back to Dubai?
well, we've got to put in good vibes that I don't know, that it can happen. What do you think?
I
Uh,
think so. I think so. I think you're excellent. Look at what you manifest for yourself. All of these beautiful travels.
right. And
Yeah.
what about you? I know that you were studying Italian there for a while.
Well, for a while, I haven't been as good about it as I should be because, as you probably anyone who studies languages knows, it's consistency. You've got to do this every day. It's about repetition, and I've been bad about that. But so I need to get more assiduous because I really want to master the language, and I am not there yet by any means.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got to do Duolingo and all that other stuff.
I need to. I need to because I've always wanted to speak a second language, and hey, I'm at that third act of my life right now. It's either now or never. Some of these things I've always wanted to do, and so I'm going to do it for me, even if I never get to use it in a practical sense. I just want to know what it's like. Do you speak other languages, Whimsy?
I speak very bad Hebrew and very
Uh-huh.
bad German
Well,
and very bad Spanish and
then
very bad English. Very bad. Muy mal. Muy mal en español.
oh, probably better than my very, very bad Italian. I'm too embarrassed to even say anything right now, but I want to get back into it. But Damn, I'm just happy you're here. I'm just happy to be doing this show. I have missed doing this so much, and I've missed all you people out there. And
Thank
this is
you.
just great, you know. And
Well, who's with us? Let's go
well,
ahead
let's see who we have here. Well, we have our wonderful.
and figure out why I'm continuing to have bad stream issues.
Oh no, I wonder if we should we reboot, or would it? Some
Uh,
people have suggested that. It's whatever you think.
what, me reboot?
Well, I meant you. I didn't know if you did. We need to go off and go back on. What do you think? Or should we just proceed as is?
Why don't you proceed as is?
Okay.
Yes. And say hello to everyone.
Say hello to everyone. And you're going to leave me for a while? Am I going to fly solo here?
No. I'm just checking.
Well, you're checking things. Okay. Well, of course. And hey, Andy. Hey, thanks for joining. He's somebody who watches me on my own show. Yeah, I missed you too. And Joyce. Joyce is my good friend, Joyce Petrus. I'm glad you're here. And Joyce, with all your world travels, I have a feeling you know several languages. I should ask you about that sometime. And let's see here. And you have to pardon me because these are old eyeglasses. Let me see. Can I see better with or without? Okay, we've got. Let me stand back here. Okay. Andy, Joyce, let me scroll. I'm so sorry. Carolyn. Hi, Carolyn. Let's see. I see some repetitions of names here. Let me scroll back some further here. Gigi, and we have Rebecca, and we have Valerie, and Kay, and
yes, nice.
Let's see here. I do apologize. It's an old eyeglass prescription. I'm so used to my contact lenses, so I do apologize for vision issues here. Stefani, Maxwell. Let's see. I said hi to Valerie. And of course Debbie and John. Oh, and John, thank you for your compliment about my eyeglasses. These are very old frames, but I've always liked them. I've never thought of them as vintage, but that's what people are calling them now. That's how old these are. But I just keep getting new lenses made for the same old frames. And I've even had to have them soldered together a few times. They're very fragile.
They're very cute.
Thank you.
Very cute.
I like them. Let's see. I don't want to repeat names here. And also my bad vision. This is embarrassing. Thank you for bearing with me. But let's see here. Maxwell, I'm trying to find some different names here. I'm scrolling. And how's it going from your end, Whimsy? How are you doing there?
Well, I think we're doing pretty good.
Marie.
Let's go ahead. You want to talk about what's going on in the news right now? It looks
like, where do we start? Lots of stories.
Well, I don't know. A lot of people feel that Trump is tearing everything down. Our economy has
they think so, huh?
Well, what do you think? It looks like Moody has downgraded our credit rating. Did you know anything about that?
I did. I saw that the other day. I saw that fairly rare for us to have our credit downgraded. I mean, the man is destroying our economy. He's destroying our country. I mean, where do we even begin? I mean, I mean, it's like every day it's appalling to turn on the news to see what's the latest escapade from Trump and this budget that Trump is trying to push through. He calls it his big, beautiful budget. Others are calling it big, beautiful bullshit. It's going to cut Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP benefits, food stamps, green energy programs, while giving tax breaks to billionaires. It's insanity. And very cruel, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've heard different. Yeah, go ahead. Please.
What have you heard? No, please. What have you heard?
Well, I've heard that his ratings tanked to 40%, and then I've also heard ratings have gone back up.
Okay, the last I had heard, his ratings had gone to 39%. Now, I hadn't heard anything about them going up. You know, I just couldn't imagine them going up. But it's considered, I think, the lowest a president has had since Dwight Eisenhower, since they started doing the polling.
Right.
And the only
So,
president who had lower than Trump was Trump during his first term.
do you think anyone likes Trump right now? I mean, who would like Trump right now?
Oh, there's a whole base that loves Trump.
Based He's destroyed, he's tanked the economy. He sold out to the Arab League nations for oil. I mean, what could
I
they like? I don't
I
know.
don't. Well, I've never understood it. We've never understood this base of support he has. It's like my hometown back east. I am Facebook friends with a lot of people from my hometown, and I am just stunned by the people who are still supporting Trump.
Well, I think what we should do is we'll go ahead and we'll do the empath
Okay.
prayer, and then we will get to everybody's blitzes. I want to thank everybody who's been kind enough to hang out with us today while we
Thank you.
blitz away. And while I figure out I guess I'm just going to have to, because I multi-stream, I'm just going to have to upgrade to a higher. That must be the cause. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I thought you did upgrade.
Maybe I have to upgrade again. I don't know.
That, or maybe have the people come out and just take a look at it. Maybe
They
you need a
did.
repair, a tweak or something.
They said it's fine. So
Hmm,
I think I'm going to have to upgrade the stream, which is strange.
that is strange.
Anyway, so I think we'll go ahead and we will blitz away. Special shout out to our helpers today, Kay Travel to Row. Maybe Kay can babysit Mila since
Yeah, I was so sorry to hear that.
babysitter. Maybe we can have Kay Travel come live here and take care of my cat.
I think you want me to come there to live to take care of your cat.
Well, you have a cat. I don't know.
I do. My Sasha would not tolerate Mila, I don't think.
Yeah.
Two very territorial females. I don't know how it would work out.
Also, Desiree Robato is here assisting, as is Joyce Petras. We're very grateful you're here
Yeah, we
with
are.
the stream. Let's go ahead. We'll do the empath's prayer. If you have any questions for Chuck and myself regarding what's going on in the news right now, and you'd like us to do a tarot card blitz, we would be happy to do it. If not, the questions were pre-selected by Chuck and myself based on what you guys were talking about this week. So either way, we have plenty to talk. Don't we have lots to talk about, Chuck?
Oh, we have plenty to talk about. Biden, Trump, this budget. I mean,
yes. You guys got to us nice.
Sean Combs.
Yes. Okay, we got to everybody, and feel free to send us more questions if you have them. Let's do this. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journey to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, everyone, for being here. All right, Chuck. If I can breathe today.
Are you okay, Whimsy? Do you need like a sip of water?
I'm choking on pepper. What can I do? Okay, let's talk about Biden. This was the number one question we got for the week. A lot of people are very upset. There's been a lot of questions. Number one question that people are asking is, dun, 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 how could they have missed it? He was the president of the United States. Why did we just now find out? How long have we had it? Here's questions are at with this. It's very aggressive. It's stage 4. It's already in the bone.
It's already metastasized to his bones.
Right. So how could a man this rich famous with such a high profile job, how could his doctors have missed it?
It's incredibly curious because, a president of the United States has the best medical care in the world. I mean, I was reading today about this A president's doctors typically will leave, quote unquote, no stone unturned. They get like every test imaginable. But I was going to say this to you. It popped up on my phone. I get news bulletins. I got one 2 hours ago where it was just announced that his last PSA was in 2014, which seems astounding to me. But of course, Whimsy, as a doctor, that men after the age of 70 many times are not tested anymore for prostate cancer because it's generally considered in most cases a slow moving cancer. And also the treatments often are far worse, urinary incontinency, impotency. So many men are not tested, but I would think a president of the United States would be just tested for every possible thing. So I was surprised that bulletin popped up today.
Right. So how could it have gotten missed? Was it missed? And if it was not missed, the question is, was there some kind of withholding of vital medical information?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many scenarios because, you and I both know that PSA numbers, are not conclusive. A person could be cancer free and have a very high PSA score or the other way around. Basically it's a tool, to mark progress, how much inflammation is going on with the prostate and so forth, or to check to see if existing medical treatments are working and our numbers going down. It can be used as a tool. When you were training me, you taught me that a diagnosis is an art as much as a science.
We should clarify that Chuck is a physician's assistant.
Yeah, and Whimsy was my brilliant teacher. Well, you were incredible. But you taught me, that a diagnosis can sometimes be as much an art as a science, because you were saying to me, it's, of course, it's your education, it's your background, it's looking at the tests, but it's also using your intuition.
I can't believe I would have missed this.
Yeah, I know. It's astounding when it's the president of the United States. That's what makes it so mystifying. If this were just a normal man and, over the age of 70, it's a little more understandable because many times men are no longer tested, but he should have been tested. I just found that very strange when I think it was a CNN news bulletin. It popped up about 3:00 today saying 2014 was the last time he had any kind of testing. So that, because when getting ready for the show today, I was going through a lot of my notes and medical books and things when we worked together. And I was looking up things like, how could this have been missed? And one thing, PSA numbers are not always reliable. It's the possibility it could have been something that could have popped up between tests if it were really that strong, that serious. A tumor could turn up and start spreading quickly. But he was just president 4 months ago. I don't know when his last physical examination was, but I can't imagine more. I'm sure it was sometime last year. How could they have missed something like this? This is more what, you as a doctor, what are your opinions about this?
Well, I mean, I think it's a lesson to all of us that we need to keep monitoring things and doing regular checks. I think a lot of men don't want to have a prostate exam done.
Yeah.
And so maybe he had a prostate exam done. They found something unusual and then ordered a biopsy.
Yeah.
If the biopsy came back questionable, then they might have ordered a PET scan or something like that, which showed that it had metastases to the bone. Yeah. But in terms of why they missed it, like you said, it could be one of those things where they think, well, prostate cancer grows so slowly, and most men at his age probably have it anyway, so why bother treating it at all? And this is a clear example of why you need to treat it. And with some of the precision surgeries that are going on right now, robot surgeries, etc., I think it's just vital to, we need to stop this attitude in medicine that your life is over at 80, and so failure to treat because you're old, because we're finding that people are living to 100 and beyond now.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know, I was saddened by the news, you know, and then the timing of it, that book coming out.
Mhm.
You know that book, I think it's already #1 on the bestseller list, about supposedly all of the people around Biden were keeping things secret about how far his health had actually declined and his cognitive abilities. You know, that's the big thing that's being discussed. To have that come out, and then this devastating medical diagnosis, I feel so bad for Joe Biden right now.
Okay, so first question, 4 cards, will Joe be okay?
Oh, sometimes I'm surprised things that pop up,
Hmm.
like physical body. You know, I don't manipulate the cards. I just let them drop out as they do. Physical body.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not getting anything conclusive here, but this is the card that bothers me. I got suffering. I got suffering, physical body, um, shadow. This is something that interested me. Denial. Like maybe the signs were there for a long time and he was in denial himself about it. Like you said yourself earlier, a lot of men don't want to get checked. That, you know, they're so fearful of the results, or they're so fearful of the treatment. I'm feeling like he was in denial for quite a while about this.
Hmm.
But I'm getting right now there is definitely some suffering going on. His physical body, I guess that's to even be expected with what's happening right now. But I'm not getting anything conclusive.
Right.
What are you getting, Whimsy?
Smoother waters lay ahead. 6 of Swords would be auspicious for the next 6 years. His opposition, fighting and tension, probably in the House or in DC, was probably what was bad for his health. You know, it's
Yeah,
interesting because he had that devil card associated with arguments or conflict in his opposition. So,
yeah.
being the president was not good for his health.
No, no. Well, it's literally the most stressful job in the world.
Surgery will be successful, Ace of Swords.
Okay.
So, you know, it didn't look to me like classic dementia. It looked like exhaustion had impacted his brain and maybe COVID.
Yeah,
If he had something like this kind of an infection, then that would explain why, or this kind of a cancer or something like that.
yeah,
It could also explain extreme fatigue
yeah.
and why I
Exactly.
felt like his energy improved.
Yeah.
As cancer, tumors can wipe out your energy like nothing.
Well, you mentioned this on one of your earlier shows a few days ago. You were getting in the readings. He's going to be much better just being out of office, being back in private life, getting to rest, return to normalcy, not to be under that huge, huge stress that I don't know how any human being could handle, especially a man of his age and fragility. And then, as you mentioned, his coming off of COVID, other things. But Whimsy, I have to ask you, one of the things the doctor said was surgery was not an option right now because it had already spread to his bones, but you're feeling like prostate removal could
Well,
still benefit him.
they can plant things, and
Oh, that's right, of course.
there are things that they can plant, and they can also
Yeah,
they can do surgeries. You know, they have precision things now that they do. It's
yeah,
very precise, rather than a lot also that they're doing with machines doing surgery.
yeah. And they did say that this form of prostate cancer will respond to hormone treatment. And the doctors seem to feel optimistic about that. So,
Oh, yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense.
So he could have a number of years. And I factor in what you said a few days ago, because you were just seeing things being a lot smoother for him. It was actually looking like a few years ahead of him, looking good for him.
Yeah, and something is really making me choke, like
Oh, I'm so
pepper.
sorry. Oh, maybe just have a little sip of water or something.
That's what it
Yeah,
is.
because I wasn't getting anything conclusive in my reading, other than just presently some suffering, discomfort. And I found that interesting about the denial. So I don't know if you got anything in your cards that would cooperate with that, but if that could be a reason why he wasn't diagnosed earlier.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we'll just have to wait. The cards, though, look like he can recover with some
Yeah.
kind of a treatment. All right. The next question coming up had to do with number 45s. This is coming from Chris Cool. Hi, Chris Cool. Thank you for the question. We've been getting a lot of comments about 45's visit to Congress. Can you talk a little bit about what you think about what's going on in Congress right now?
Well, I know that he met with Republican lawmakers because there are key conservatives that are still remaining opposed to this, shall we call, sweeping tax and spending bill. I think it was GOP Representative Massey. He's one of the people who's opposing this. And he said he still opposes the bill, even though Trump the bully, is saying, well, he should be voted out of office. You know how Trump makes these threats. So many lawmakers are afraid of him, but he's still standing his ground. But I understand there's still a lot of squabbling among House Republicans. And there's no question it's controversial with these cuts that are being proposed. And I think a lot of these lawmakers fear very, very angry constituents. It's kind of, the old stuck between a rock and a hard place, dealing with Trump, but also dealing with their constituents.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that civil war will eventually happen?
Yeah, I think it already is to a degree, but we've talked about this before. I just don't see how this can sustain itself. This kind of madness. I mean, this is despite Trump calling it a big, beautiful budget, it is cruel. It's vicious. It's going to hurt. So many people, I think I saw something like over 13 million people would be standing to lose their health care. Children that depend on SNAP benefits just for basic nutrition. So many millions of people are going to have lives devastated because of this bill.
How do you think we got here? How do you think we got here?
I'm still wondering that myself, because this is so crazy. I don't know. It's because I'm still trying to wrap myself around how Donald Trump got to be president. How, like we said it earlier in the show, how does he still have all these people who support him? And I also question, how can these Republican lawmakers seemingly be so spineless? How can they be so immoral themselves? They're enabling Trump. They're going along with this, or at least many of them are. I just think it's unconscionable, and I can't wrap myself around that yet. Do you have opinions, Whimsy? Do you have feelings?
I just think that people are confused, and what he says versus what he does. Well, I don't think these policies are good for the United States.
Well, no, not at all. Do you think a lot of this could be just misinformation from sources like Fox News? Because a lot of his followers, they seem to use that as their primary news source. A lot of misleading information, and they, from what I see from Trump supporters, based from the ones I know personally, they believe his lies. They believe.
Let's just take a look and see, because I'm curious to find out what's going to happen here. Are we finally going to see some kind of pushback? Or are we just going to be happy lambs to slaughter?
Interesting to see what the cards say. I personally want very much to believe there is going to be an uprising. I want to believe that, but let's see. I think there is.
Go on.
Well, I mean, first of all, I get balance. Balance. This has to balance itself out. But it's a combination. There's a lot of loss, but I'm also seeing how when I got self-esteem, I take this to mean people individually who are saying, hey, look how this is affecting me. Look how this is affecting my family. This is sorry about that. This is not good. But I think people are pondering that right now. But what I got afterwards was really encouraging. I got bravado, personal power, standing up. So sorry about that. Bravado, people standing up. I got life force, new beginnings, and then ultimately gifts. Like, I think we've talked about this before. We're going to ultimately be better and stronger for having gone through this. And I just see this with life force, bravado, people standing up. Say, I'm not taking this shit anymore. I'm not taking this. That's what I'm getting from my cards. What do you have?
It's kind of interesting your cards say that because mine present with the Queen of Wands, which is about territory.
Territory.
Right? Territory, fighting for one's space, my way or the highway. So this fight back, this pushback. Also, it feels like they're drunk with power.
Yeah.
This imagery of the opposition being the King of Cups in his cups and having issues of temperance, which could be an indication of like a muck,
Yeah.
over this issue of profits. So do I think it's all out civil war? I think that there is fear that is starting to emerge that the future that Trump is creating may not include them.
Yeah. Because I don't know. When I understood civil war to mean more the American people rising up, the government versus the people. So maybe I phrased my question wrong to my cards. Were you thinking of it more as civil war within our government, within the Republican Party?
Well, I hope that it starts with the people recognizing.
Because that's what I was getting in my cards. It was about the people, people getting angry, uprising.
That Queen of Wands could be this kind of fighting back.
Yeah,
I guess my question to you is, do you think that the Republican Party are they just completely unaware that their actions, that Reaganomics and these continual cutting of vital resources and giving to the rich, do they not understand that this is destroying the country? Are they so close to this that they don't see that this is welfare for the rich?
I think all they have to do is go to one of their town hall meetings and have all of those angry constituents yelling and swearing at them that we've seen on the news. They have to be aware. I mean, I am certain their offices are being flooded with phone calls and emails, angry messages. People are very upset right now. So they have to know. So I've asked myself, what is in it for them? Have they been paid off? Are they truly this fearful of Donald Trump destroying them or something? I don't know what it is.
Well, Pat Sykes, CAKs, says it appears that the CEOs of a number of companies are buckling to him. There's this feeling like they can't stand up to Trump. Could you speak to that a little bit? Do you feel that they will turn on Trump once the stock market crashes again, which it looks, the stock market's all over the place?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking today about Walmart. Did you see that thing about the tariffs and Trump? Walmart was saying, well, we're going to have to raise our prices in answer to these tariffs. And Trump was countering with, I think you should, I'm paraphrasing, but basically you should suck it up. You should eat these tariffs. And the CEO of Walmart said, well, we can only do so much here. So I think companies are going to start standing up. Wasn't it also Amazon Amazon said they were going to put a little, if they have to raise prices because of tariffs, they're going to indicate it on the listing. This is the reason for the price raise.
And
Trump's tariffs.
and didn't that cause a backlash? Because what didn't
From
Bezos?
Trump, it did. Yeah.
Well, didn't he kind of give a tacit okay to Trump by uh, not endorsing anybody at the Washington Post? Is that correct?
I'm not sure about that.
So that, and then he and his fiance did end up um, being at the inauguration events.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
It was after Musk and Thiel and that whole crowd started to endorse him. Then it was Robert Kennedy Jr., Bezos, everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are they also going to be the first to jump ship when this ship sinks?
Yeah.
And the ship is clearly sinking.
It clearly is. It clearly is. The ship is sinking. That's why I'm wondering where it's going to be maybe more acceptable publicly to do this, because the public is pretty much going to be in agreement.
So Chris School talking about the billionaires in 2025. Of course, not every billionaire is a fan of 2025. Do you want to go ahead and throw on that and see
Sure.
what kind of reaction we're going to get from the CEOs? And
okay. May I ask, Whimsy, how should we phrase the question?
the relationship, the future relationship between the CEOs and Donald Trump.
Okay.
Nobody wants to talk to you.
I know, and I tell people not to call me during the show, but anyway, sorry about that. So the future relationship of the CEOs and the Trump administration in regards to the tariffs.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to put a story here together. Well, sure.
Well, I've got my theories.
Okay. I was trying to put together something conclusive here, but I'm getting more of the general feeling of what's going on right now. If you just want me to go real quickly, I have a feeling you're going to have a better answer than me, but exhaustion. I think everybody is just so fed up, so tired, so weary of all of this. It's so much right now. A lot of loss is going on. That's obvious. This is obvious here. Like, I got physical body for Biden here. The business card popped out. It's obviously around business, but what I'm getting is a lot of decisions. This is a fight for survival for a lot of these businesses here. Truth is coming to the surface. What's really going on. And ultimately, there will be some balancing out here. There has to be. So that's what I'm getting. I was trying to see if I had other cards, but that's primarily what I was getting. And what do you have?
Well, they're basically, trade is ultimately the issue.
Yeah.
If they don't have trade, they have nothing. And so the tariffs, the whole reason that they put this guy in power was to improve trade. They put him in to improve the Abraham Accords. They put him in because Empress is about the treasure trove that ever overflows, right? It's complete abundance. And then Two of Cups, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, and then here's your trade, two of
Mm-hmm.
wands. The Wheel of Fortune came inverted. I see them cutting look. Everything is very transparent. These people
Mm-hmm.
with the Saudis, with United Arab Emirates,
Yeah.
are they want to get their trade out. They want to control the money, diversify their portfolio, create a solid trade relationship between the Abrahamic countries. The only reason we're putting up with you is because we thought you could pull it off, and instead it's become a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like Netanyahu for good reasons. They don't think he's a sincere player. He's always playing games. And then Qatar is in the. So you have all this. So when we think about the constituents, we also have to think about Modi out of India and tensions in Pakistan and what's going on with Russia and Ukraine right now. These are all constituents in the sense that we don't even know what his foreign investments are, who's been giving him money, what's been
Mm-hmm.
happening in this crypto bank or that crypto bank. And so we're
Mm-hmm.
kind of left. It's like his medical records are opaque. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
so we have no idea what the heck's going on.
No, we don't. But you're right. I think a lot of big corporations sided with Trump initially, thinking, "Oh, he's the big genius businessman, the billionaire, the master of finances." Never mind, he's bankrupt. He's been bankrupted 6 times, and they're saying America is going to be a seventh bankruptcy. I mean, he deliberately threw a huge monkey wrench in our economy. He inherited a superb economy from Biden, superb, and the way the man has destroyed it in like 3 months time, well actually 2 months time, really. I don't
Mm.
know, when was it he first announced the tariffs and everything went to hell. And I'm sure a lot of CEOs are furious right now, and they're watching their own investments, their own stakes in the stock market being obliterated. Who knows when it's going to come back? It could take years if not decades to fix this damage.
Mhm. All right. So this was something that was by popular demand, and we've been avoiding it. And I don't know why we've been avoiding it, because the truth of the matter is that we try to give people what they want. But
Mhm.
there's been a lot of people that want to talk about, excuse me, what's going on with Sean Diddy Combs.
Oh yes.
I don't know if you cover the trial at all, but evidently there is a trial underway
Yes, there
for
is. I
Holmes.
believe it started a week ago.
You knew him vicariously through, we both
Well,
did. We kind of saw him every day.
we did. He used to come into our store, and I certainly didn't get vibes one way or the other about him because I didn't spend that much time with him. Other than right now, I feel a little creeped out that I stood a foot away from this horrible man. And I told that story one time about how he refused to do a selfie with a customer, but he was gracious about it. The way he said to the customer, "I'm so sorry. I just came out of the gym. I'm sweaty. I don't look good. And I can't afford having a bad picture of me get on the internet." He was gracious about it. So I walked away thinking, well, he seems like a polite, decent man. But now all this horrible stuff has come out, and just the coverage of the trial. I don't know if you saw any of the coverage today.
Yeah, can you
Um,
talk about today and why
well,
it was so significant in
well,
terms
let's see.
of
It was
what we
Cassie
figured out so far?
Ventura.
Yeah,
She was testifying. Witnesses saw the video of her
right. That
beating her
we,
twice. He dragged her by the hair. He pushed her on the floor. He was coercing her to have sex with male escorts. And her mother was the one who took pictures of the bruises to document it. And I believe they showed those pictures in court, I think today. And also it was said that Combs had threatened to release 2 explicit sex tapes of her, and he was demanding $20,000. I don't
Mhm.
know how he came up with that number. I'm surprised it wasn't a lot more, but he wanted $20,000.
Right.
I also saw, I think it came out today, that when his Miami home was searched, they found 2 assault-style rifles that were confiscated.
Probably
Uh,
more, I would think.
I'm sure there were a lot more, but I just heard that, when I was watching the news today, that was mentioned. But it's very damning. It just gets worse and worse every day.
And can you talk a little bit about what's the significance of the male escort, like that they were talking so much about, that this person confirms what?
Yeah, that did come up. I didn't hear more details about that. I have to think back to, because we were covering this story even months ago, about how supposedly he had all of these embarrassing tapes of major celebrities, political figures at his mansions, being coerced into sex acts, or maybe even willingly committing sex acts, and it was all being videotaped. But I'm wondering if that was perhaps to further humiliate her, or to damn her, to hurt her chances in court, to have tape of her with these escorts. I don't know the whole story there. I don't know if you know
Well,
any more
I
about it.
guess my question, you have lived in Hollywood and
Mm-hmm.
you have treated as a healthcare provider these people. Are you shocked at the level of depravity that exists in your own community? Let's just keep it real here. Like,
Well,
I mean, like you treat them. These are people Russell Brand. I mean, these are
yeah.
people who and had relationship. I'm not going to put myself in the middle of this. I'm just going to let you.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, put me in the middle of it. But no, well, first of all, yes, of course, shocked. But at the same time, having lived in LA for 40 years, and, because of our line of work, we would have people who worked at the film studios,
right.
and I mean, not just executives, sometimes makeup artists, electricians, but people who were there witnessing what was going on. So I always had my finger on a lot of Hollywood gossip. So I think the word is more very, very disappointed, just so disappointed. As far as shock goes, I guess when you hear these stories so many times, it's hard not to be a little numb to it, if I'm phrasing that correctly. It's like I had a friend, a very dear friend, years before the Harvey Weinstein scandal broke out. I knew about it like a decade earlier, because a friend of mine almost got raped by him. She
Oh my
thankfully survived. She thankfully survived and got away, but it was she was a beautiful actress. He invited her up to his hotel room to read for a movie role. We know how that goes. And anyway, he went in the bathroom, came out naked, and he was going after her. And she just somehow got away and got out the door and ran away. And she was deeply traumatized. And I was one of the few people she confided into. And she said, "I'm so scared because I can't go public with this story. He'll kill me." She was that afraid of him. And it was only years later, after the scandal broke out, she finally went public with her own story. But even there, she was very scared, because it was so deeply traumatic to her as a woman to have gone through it. So I've known of things like that. Now, as Sean Combs, I didn't know about all of this. I had never heard it until the news broke out, but I've heard so many depraved stories. And as far as Russell Brand goes, that's very complicated, because I obviously do not endorse, condone anything that's come out about him, about was it the rape charges and so forth. That's horrendous.
Well, now
Uh,
Blake Lively. Now they're calling Blake Lively a liar. Now they're
oh, I did. Oh,
Blake
that's
Lively.
right. That's
We
terrible.
can cover that next week.
We can
All
cover
right.
that next week. Oh, okay,
So,
I could
well,
say more.
I think we just want to know, will Diddy, what all did you guys want to know that are here that asked about this? They want to know if Diddy will be convicted and if Cassie will see justice. Anything else that you guys needed to know? I think let's just do those two. You want to do that? If he's going to be
Sure.
convicted,
Okay,
uh,
so
and if Cassie is going to see justice.
is Cassie going to see justice?
I guess it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Somebody also wanted to know if other people would be named in the lawsuits, or
Oh,
other other people would be. So we'll see. Let's.
yeah. I think we're at the tip of the iceberg here. I think a lot's going to come out. But as far as Cassie goes, I think she is going to be vindicated. I think she is. I'm getting here new beginnings, gifts, and I'm also, again, the scales of justice, balance. That card's been coming up a lot today. I think ultimately she is going to be vindicated herself anyway.
Yeah, Cassie wins. So
Yeah.
his record label is going to have to pay restitution to the victims. That's what I'm getting. His
Hmm.
company, she has Ace of Pentacles in the seventh house, which would be economic restitution.
Yeah.
Also, the scales of weapons taken away, and then an inverted Ten of Pentacles. The dark aspects of the Ten of Pentacles, inheritances, dirty little secrets, the dirty secret, the inverted Ten of Pentacles, the dirty little secret spilled out, an inverted Ten of Pentacles, and then which led to an inheritance, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And then Six of Wands, she will win in the next 6 months. There was a follow-up question. People wanted to know whether or not Diddy was framed or if there are other people that are worse than him, like Beyonce and her husband.
Whoa. I'm
Um,
just
I don't know.
sensing
There's a
there
lot.
are more names that are going to come up. I don't know necessarily Beyonce and her husband, but this trial, I believe, is going to get very scandalous. It already is, but it's just going to grow in intensity. And you're right, a lot of names are going to come up.
Okay, so did Diddy kill Biggie? Wesley Sterrett wants to know if Diddy killed Biggie. I wouldn't be surprised. I
Ooh,
think there's a lot of evidence. Yes.
that's heavy. I don't know. Ooh, that's the kind of question I usually don't ask the cards. I don't know if I'm going to get an answer, but let me see. What I am getting, because that's a heavy question to ask, but I got shame, I got deceit, and the truth. Whatever the truth is going to be, the truth is definitely going to come up. That's what I'm getting, but it's not like saying
Interesting.
absolutely. So are your cards maybe more specific and conclusive?
They show him as highly emotional. I'm highly emotional and I'm a highly sensitive person. So
Yeah.
this is somebody, if he gets slighted or insulted and offended, he is likely to pop you off, like do something about it. So he
Yeah.
presents himself as if I reacted. So he's not admitting to killing anyone. He's just saying, I am a high sensitive person, so be careful the way you talk to me.
Sounds almost like Trump.
He's very sensitive to a slight movement, somebody threatening me, somebody saying something to me I don't like. And then
Yeah.
his opposition, the dark lady. So there was a dark lady there. That was his opposition. Maybe somebody witnessed something or testified against him. The hopes and fears that there was evidence. So if it was Lopez, maybe she gave a testimony to the fact that she was there and she witnessed it. But his opposition
Yeah.
is the Queen of Pentacles over the issue of the evidence. And then treasure trove, Seven of Pentacles would indicate solid evidence against him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but I think the other question that was asked earlier is, and I guess we need to come to an end because it's already 6:05. But just this is the kind of thing that brings up a lot of questions because the other readers don't want to touch it, and I don't see why we can't answer these questions. People obviously want to talk
Mm-hmm.
about it. It's relevant, and I think
Mm-hmm.
it says something about the social norms in our society. Who
Yeah.
gets arrested? Who doesn't?
I
You know.
think as long as we stay in our integrity,
Yeah,
that's all.
and whether or not, rich people have the same standards. And there's all kinds of ethical questions we can ask. And I think that we'll just have to leave it like, are there more people? Yes, clearly, we saw what's happening in Dubai. There were a couple of women
Mm-hmm.
that were found half dead that had been beaten up at a party. I mean, like
Oh dear.
people in power that do corrupt things.
They
And
make their own rules, or at
we
least they believe they can make their own rules.
mustn't be naive about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sweetie. So tell us what you're up to in the coming days as we close today's show.
What am I up to in the coming days? Well, I'm making phone calls for you and talking to your wonderful people, many of you out there. I recognize your names. I'm working on my art. I've got several projects going on. I guess I can tell this now. I don't know if you're familiar with Christopher Radko, very famous for his Christmas ornaments. He
Yes, yes.
contacted me and asked me to do some sketches. And I don't know if this ornament's going to get made, but he wanted me to do some preliminary sketches for a Kelly Clarkson Christmas ornament.
Oh,
And
how
I
lovely.
submitted those to him and he was pleased with them. I don't know if he'll use them, but
Of
that
course you
happened.
will. You're famous now.
And I'm working on drawings for you,
Yes,
for the
we
book,
have
Broke
to.
Aristocrats. I'm working very hard on that. And
You know what? I will try and get us together since we missed the spring, but I will probably be in Los Angeles in the fall. We're gonna have to wait until when it's cooler.
wait until hot weather is over.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
we'll shoot then.
Okay.
And if people want to see you as a medical consultant, intuitive, or a
Okay.
tarot reader, how would they contact?
It's, of course, my name. It's Dransfield Chuck, one word, at gmail.com. And also, I have my YouTube channel, Chuck's Captivating Chronicles, lots of videos about old Hollywood and I Love Lucy. I have a little bit of expertise there. And I also do a Monday show, live stream, Chuck's Captivating Chat. And that keeps me busy, Whimsy. But I love my life.
Very cool. All
Mm.
right. And if you're trying to see me as a medical intuitive naturopathic doctor or as a reader, you can contact me through Booksy, and that information is below this video. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time.
See you next
Bye,
time.
everyone. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
All right.